and welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn and today I will be making myself another disc-bound planner, and the reason is because I just bought the new disc mini cinch, and also I got this gorgeous 12 by 12 paper pad in my Pear Tree Treasures DT box. This one is from Graphic 45. It's called Nature's Notebook, and it's a deluxe collector's edition. So it has stickers, chipboard elements, and gorgeous papers, which anytime I see gorgeous papers like these, I immediately think to make a journal for myself, because I can make these journals in such a way that I can use them all year long and really enjoy all of these papers, because I create my monthly spreads as swappable sort of elements that I can add to these. And so here I'm starting on my calendar divider pages. So these are cut to 8.5 by 5.5. And I've got one layer of the pattern paper from Graphic 45, a layer of 110-pound cardstock in black, and then another layer of pattern paper on the other side. And I'm creating this or assembling it a little bit differently from how I've made my past journals, because if you caught my past planners, you'll maybe remember that I actually punched the mushroom holes in each of these layers separately, because the punch board that I had really is only designed to punch one layer, or thin layers at a time. But, and this is the reason why I got the mini cinch, is because it can actually punch through thicker materials or just more layers of thinner materials. And so that gives me the ability to actually assemble everything, add all of my mats and layers, and then punch everything the one time, which not only is it a time saver, but it also just ensures that all of your holes are like 100% lined up between all of those layers. So what I'm working on here is my cover piece, and this measures 9 inches tall, which is the same as my previous planner, and is 6 inches wide in order to maximize the use efficiently of a 12 by 12 paper pad. So what I did was I just used some pink washi to mark the center line right on my cinch here, mini cinch, and we've got the little tray at the bottom that holds all of the holes that punch out. There's a lever on the left side, if you're familiar with the cinch, that helps lock into a previously punched hole so that you can do some continuous punching. On the board itself, you'll see letter markings A, B, and C, and a little table that tells you if your paper size ends in like a whole number, like 8 inches, or if it ends in a half number, like 8.5 inches, then you want to look that up on that table and then find the appropriate letter to use as a alignment guide, either A, B, or C. And you have measurements down to 1/8 of an inch. So if your page ends in 8 5/8, just look up 5/8 and see what letter you need. Now, what I always recommend if you are punching something for the first time, to create yourself a little template, and that's what I showed earlier with those white strips of scrap paper that I cut down to the height of my cover, which is 9 inches, and the height of my monthly tab dividers, which is 8.5 inches. And so I try to always create a template, especially if it's the first time I'm punching for a particular size, and because this is actually literally the first time I'm using this disc mini cinch. And so I wanted to make sure that everything lines up the way that I expect. So for pages that end in 1/2 inch increments, you use the B guide. So I've placed my guide in B, and then I punched one time. Then I slid this down so that the hole lines up with that locking mechanism, I'll lock it in and punch a second time. So this, that alignment guide, the A, B, and C, does all the math for you to basically center your holes. And so easy peasy if your page size lines up with those 1/8 inch increments. I would just find whatever the closest 1/8 inch increment is and then use the guide for that. And as you noticed, that will start punching from one end down to the next. However, when we get to punching my cover, I don't want to punch it that way. I want my pages to actually be centered within my cover pieces. And so even though the cover is 9 inches, I won't be using the guide for punching a whole number. Instead, what I'm going to do is line up the center lines. So I've taken my template, folded it in half, and I'm sorry that things are going in and out of focus. It's because the different things are at different heights. And I wasn't paying attention to the focus because I was paying really close attention to my hole punching. But basically, and I'll show this twice, but basically I line up with the center mark on the cinch and the center of my page. And then I'll slide my page down so that I'm just going to pick a hole that has already previously been punched. Now, if I pick the last hole punch, you can see that hole comes very close to the edge. That's why I'm going to slide this down until I only get full hole punches, and then I'll punch. And that way I've centered the hole punches, and because they're all equally spaced apart, the pages, when they line up with the holes on my cover, the pages will be centered within my cover. So let me show you that again. I've got, I just did my back cover. Now I'll do my front cover, and I'll go ahead and round these corners with my Crop-A-Dile corner punch first. And I will bring in my template piece again. So this is just a strip of paper cut to the same height of my journal, and I folded it in half. And I'm going to line up one edge with the edge of my journal cover, and then the other edge of my template I will line up with the center line that is on the cinch. And I'll tilt this up so that you can kind of see what I'm trying to do here. It's hard to hold everything in place at this angle, but hopefully you can kind of get the gist that I'm just lining up the edge of my white template piece with the center mark on my cinch. And then I'm gonna punch one time, and that will be the start of my holes. Then I'm gonna slide my page down so that it one of the holes will line up with the locking mechanism, but I'm gonna make sure that I'm choosing a hole where I only get full hole punches and none of the holes come too close to the edge. And so when I'm done, I'll have perfectly centered holes. And when I go to insert my dividers, which I'll work on here now, they are going to be centered within my cover as well. So hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, just drop me a question in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer any questions in the comments, but I'm pretty certain I'll have more opportunities to use the disc mini cinch, and so I'll also try to answer those questions in future videos where I use the mini cinch as well. So here's how I like to make my planners. I like to create my 2-page monthly spread as swappable calendar locations. So I'm taking some of the stickers that came in the Graphic 45 Deluxe Collector's Edition, and I've already stuck them onto some heavyweight black cardstock, and I just fussy cut trimmed around them. And I talked about in my crafty haul video of my Pear Tree Treasures DT box about using these stickers as tuck spots in your albums, and so I thought I would just show how to do that. So you basically just want to stick it onto some cardstock. I recommend heavyweight cardstock so that it feels more substantial, is thicker, and can hold down whatever you're tucking under. And because you've stuck it down on cardstock, now it's not sticky anymore, so you can just apply glue where you need it, which is just a thin edge of glue in my case, and that leaves the most of that element, that sticker element, unattached from your page base, so that you can tuck things under that, like a photo, or in my case, my calendar grids. And to hold my calendar grids, I don't know if you saw it, but I just used photo corners at the bottom. And so I'm just going to continue to decorate these pages a little bit, but I wanted to talk real quick about one way to get your discs. I recommend checking out clearance sales, especially, maybe around this time of year. Some of the calendars or planners from last year go on super clearance around the January, February timeframe. And so sometimes I'll just buy entire planners from previous years that are on super clearance, just so that I can harvest the discs from them. And if I'm lucky, sometimes it'll be an actual notebook that has plain notebook pages that I can use. But really I'm buying it because sometimes it can be cheaper to buy those old, outdated planners at super clearance for the discs, and it can be cheaper than just buying a new pack of discs. So be on the lookout for things like that, where you can maybe get some of these, because these discs are actual Happy Planner discs that are just from planners that I got like 80% off. And I happened to get one that was a journal, and these blank pages came with it. So I just cut it down to size and put it in my planner. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please consider liking, commenting, and sharing. And if you'd like to catch new videos as I post them, consider subscribing to my channel and ringing the notification bell. Thanks so much, and until next time, happy crafting and have a fantastic day. Bye!